Hello, you beautiful nerds of the world, Taurock at your service, and welcome to this reaction video of Death Battle. Today we are watching Marvel vs. DC. It's been a while. I think this is the very first Marvel vs. DC of the indie era of Death Battle, which honestly, it's been quite a while. It felt unnatural to not have one of these. What better way to fill the void in our hearts than with the Marvel vs. DC matchup of the century. One that is truly Superboy Prime. That's how we start. Apologies in advance if you can hear the air conditioner. I'm currently in Europe and we are having like the heat wave that's been kind of a meme these last few days. It's been like getting a little softer, but I'm still sweating bullets. If I don't have this thing, I'm still sweating bullets. I actually changed. Like, I have a very cool light that is also a fan. It's really cool. You should see it. Like, it's this thing. Like, it's supposed to be, like, for influencers. I wish I kept the box. It's for influencers. That is all, so you can sing with your hair singing. No. I'm just having this because I want to breathe. Anyway, back on track. This is a matchup that I don't know how to feel about. It would have definitely catch me off guard if I didn't spoil myself like an idiot by checking the official Death Battle Discord, because it was revealed a bit earlier in Comic Palooza or whatever. But this is the kind of matchup that would have like blown my mind if they had done this like 6 or 7 years prior, because this is around the time I started to realize like comic books are bullshit, and they are exactly the personification of that. And I think it's around those time I started to be introduced to those characters, because I know these characters like from watching Screw Attack content and Death Battle content, because I remember first hearing about Sentry in Hulk vs. Doomsday, and Superboy Prime I remember was in one of Screw Attack's like top 10 worst Superman villains. That's kind of where it kind of stops with my experience with those characters, because I know Sentry was in like Thunderbolts, but that's kind of it. I did do a lot of digging about these two characters because I thought it was a good occasion to know about them, and I think they're both pretty cool. I like Sentry as like a classic, well, not really classic, but like I like Sentry as a character. I like his story. I think his story is definitely interesting, and his like his great deal with the Void and stuff like that. I think they make for a pretty cool hero. And Prime, like Superboy Prime, is like, I like him because he's so specific. His story is like so tied to DC's history as like a comic book industry, rather than just like his development as a character, and like I think he makes for a great like allegory. I don't know. I don't know. There's something interesting about this character that I can't help but like. I can't help but appreciate this kind of character. And I'm gonna be honest. I kind of find myself like wanting to root for Superboy Prime for some reason. Maybe because he's like a fucking nerd, like we all are, because he's a dumb power scaler. I have a power scaler's dream. More like a fucking nightmare. Like, I've seen lots of arguments for Sentry. I've seen lots of argument for Prime. I've seen like the G1 blog about it. Like, the whole cosmology deal is a fucking nightmare. What I'm going to analyze in this episode specifically during the rundown, it's going to be like what they resist, and specifically, of course, we have to mention it, if Sentry can resist Prime's retcon punch. Because like the way I see it, I think there's kind of an argument for Sentry being able to resist the Superboy's retcon punch, because like his entire story was literally about retconning himself from everyone's memory, and even from like even from like the authors, like that was the whole PR around this character, is that even Stan Lee was like, oh, I completely forgot about this character. How did that happen? And so like his entire origin has been built his entire origin is him and the Void surviving a retcon, or more like the Void surviving a retcon, and thus Sentry is back. So I think there's potentially an argument for Sentry being able to resist the retcon punch. If he does, then he might have a big chance to take on Superboy Prime, because he's got a lot more power. He's far more versatile than Prime, who just has like the usual Kryptonian shtick, from what I know. But like, just being able to punch history into being altered is like kind of a big argument for Prime to be able to do like anything he wants with Sentry. That's how I see it right now. So I'm gonna see what Dev Battle says about all that, how they interpret all this, and aside from that, like, I'm just happy for Cape shit. I think you can call this like Marvel versus DC as a whole, because like, don't they both like scale to pretty much everything in DC and Marvel? Maybe not like everything, but like yeah, they're the top of the game. So aside from that, I think I'm gonna shut up. That's everything I wanted to say. So all that's left to do is to shut up and let's watch some Cape shit. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's prime time, baby. Come on. That's the kind of shit I'm looking for!
Sentry versus Superboy!
Starting off strong, what the fuck was happening there? Because like, I saw like the sneak peek, it was fine. It was kind of fine, you know, it was the classic Death Battle quality. But oh boy, what was that right now? That's the kind of shit I'm looking for.
Sentry versus
I want some Void and
Prime.
These
shattering
two Dark
stuff.
Supermen prove that sometimes absolute power corrupts absolutely.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills
Yeah, but
to find
we
out
also-
who would win a death battle.
We also love to absolutely power scale. Let's go.
One superhero
I might be taking a few notes.
Marvel Comics. He's a
I've got the
brilliant
papers ready.
scientist and
Let's
friend
go.
to all, the Golden Guardian of Good, the Sentry.
Depending
Which
on what
makes
they
it
say, you
all
know?
the more mysterious when all of humanity forgot about him, as though he never existed in the first place.
What if the
Curious.
reason we forgot Sentry is that he wanted to be forgotten?
To save us from himself.
As the story goes, Robbie
Owner of
Reynolds was
Watchdog.
just your average
Yeah, he's got a dog. Arch enemy of the Void once drank a lake filled with LSD. Whew! Oh, he's gotta have one hell of a good time. Golden Guardian of Good, Fabio Man.
ordinary high school teen until the day he accidentally drank this super soldier serum.
At that
What
moment,
was he doing in
Robbie
the
was
lab,
imbued with the
Boomstick?
power of 1,000,000 exploding suns, becoming one of the strongest superheroes in existence.
That's gotta
Why
be
did
one
he
hell
fight
of a
him?
bowel movement. And
What did he
better
thought was
way
in that
to use
serum?
his new
Drugs?
powers than to become a sentry to all mankind.
I'm so
In
funny.
a never-ending crusade against his devious arch-nemesis, the Void.
He's got all
Hey.
your classic, I can't believe he's not Kryptonian superpowers, like super strength, speed, durability, and flight.
He can spot you from miles away, or even hear a butterfly sneeze from across the planet.
Do butterflies sneeze?
No!
Well, Sentry's cells absorb and process the sun's rays, and if he wants to, he can fire that solar energy right back at you in a powerful laser, or bend light away to turn invisible, or use it to make force fields.
Really, the Sentry can draw power from anywhere and everywhere. When he was forcibly shrunk down to subatomic size, he started pulling energy from the microverse instead. And despite being microscopic, his punches were strong enough to destroy planets, even while holding back.
Sentry can teleport, communicate telepathically, and even read and mess with minds.
He's also a genius genius with a super brain comparable to Tony Stark and Reed Richards. He's even built his own watchtower with an advanced AI that is constantly monitoring the planet for threats.
Jesus Christ, he's like the Avengers all in one. Why do there even need to be any other superheroes?
Indeed, the Sentry is more than strong enough to take on Marvel's heaviest hitters, like his famous battle with the Green Scar Hulk,
there it is.
where Black Bolt, Iron Man, and Doctor Strange failed. The Sentry was the only one
That's the
who
clash,
stood against the Hulk's
That
full
introduced
power.
me to the
He's also
Sentry way
battled
back
Thor,
when.
who collapsed an infinite number of timelines into one by clashing with another Thor.
The Sentry is
What the
incredibly
hell, Shore?
fast, too. He can bend space and speed blitz Ares, who can move within plank time, the smallest unit of time possible in our universe.
Yeah,
Created to be
that's
as
a
fast
low
as the
ball.
Heralds of Galactus, like the Silver Surfer, who once outraced the multiverse blowing up. The Surfer flew so fast he went back in time, so you'd think Sentry would be able to handle some punk in a trench coat.
But it wasn't so simple. The Void was everywhere that the Sentry wasn't.
If Sentry saved people from a burning building, Void would crash an airplane. If Sentry healed a person's broken back, Void would give someone else cancer. What an asshole!
For every
Kind
good
of
act
unbalanced,
Sentry
the Void,
performs,
come on.
The Void commits an evil one.
You could have just made someone. You could have just make someone fall down the stairs. Like,
Because the truth was, the Sentry and the Void were one and the same.
Bum, bum, plot twist. Turns out Sentry's whole origin story was a lie. Robbie Reynolds wasn't a 60s high schooler beating up bullies like some Jack Kirby comic.
In reality, Bob Reynolds was a schizophrenic meth addict who drank the Sentry serum just to get high.
yep, there it is. There's the drug, aka the Void. I do like the effect that we changed the background, the true background. There you go. Diagnosed with schizophrenia, agoraphobia, anxiety. Owner of Leica, whatever. Teams: New Adventures, Dark Adventures, Horsemen of Death.
And the Void was, in reality, a malevolent godlike entity bonded to Bob that was the literal angel of death.
Yes, from the Bible, with Moses and the Pharaoh and the dead firstborns. That's him, apparently.
And this being manifests as the dark side of Bob's shattered psyche, a villainous alter ego with all of his power. Too much power for any one man to handle. The only way to destroy the Void was to also destroy the Sentry.
So Bob did something crazy. With help from Reed's tech, he used his own psychic powers to erase himself from everyone's past, present, and future, including his own.
Warping the perception of reality of every single person on the planet. They would no longer remember him or even recognize anything remotely related to him. A picture of the Sentry would still technically exist, but in your mind's eye, including Bob's, it isn't there.
Great, everyone knows repressing your problems always makes them better.
But Bob's memories eventually clawed their way back, in part thanks to Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin, and his desire to somehow control the Void. So Norman had the Thunderbolts murder Bob's wife Lindy in order to release, the Angel of Death.
Yeah, try controlling the kind of guy who can throw hands with Molecule Man, who somehow is one of the strongest beings in all of Marvel. At his peak, he's got almost complete control over the multiverse. So yeah, good luck with that one, Norm.
Molecule Man was another mentally unstable god whose power fluctuates based on their self-confidence. In a way, a sort of kindred spirit to Bob.
It was then that
Nice.
Bob discovered the true source of his own powers, his own control over molecules. Yeah, you can do that too.
The Sentry can create and destroy matter on a whim, able to rip you apart at the molecular level, or conjure an entire new reality from scratch, all with just a wave of his hand, like Dr. Manhattan.
He can also regenerate his body from any kind of damage, like being burnt to a skeleton or getting Dr. Manhattan himself.
As long as one single solitary atom remains, the Sentry is unkillable.
And Void's got all of this and more, except he doesn't hold back. He can shapeshift, create hurricanes, trap you in darkness, possess your body, and devour your soul.
With his infinitendrils, the Void takes control of a victim's mind
That's a
and
dumb
tortures them with the memories of past traumas and nightmares.
He killed Loki. He wrecked Asgard. The Avengers, the Fantastic Four, the Inhumans, and the X-Men teaming up all at once.
The Void also overwhelmed Doctor Strange and Loki as Sorcerer Supreme, allowing it to scale to other powerful magic users in Marvel, like Dormammu, who sustains the multiverse-spanning Dark Dimension.
Could barely handle him. Void is one of the biggest bads in Marvel. Great fucking job, Norm. I'm something of a moron myself.
The only way forward, the only way for Bob to save everyone, including himself, was to do something he never imagined. Let the Void in.
By refusing to repress his darker half anymore, Sentry and Void merged and became stronger than the sum of their parts.
One being, now free to finally live his life without the crushing weight of self-hatred and
Until
fear.
Noel came in.
Maybe, but this is the Void we're talking about. What if Bob just has a new puppet master who's only letting him think he's in control?
As long as the Void exists, it's just another revolution in that same endless cycle. It remains to be seen whether even death itself can break that wheel.
He'll be back. Sentry is gone, but not forgotten. He'll never be forgotten again.
Damn.
Do you believe a man
It seemed a
can
little
fly?
short.
Yeah,
seemed the end
within
parts,
the pages
like-
of DC Comics, everyone
It
in
went
their
a bit
radiated
faster toward the
six-dimensional
end,
gorilla mother
but,
can do it.
Well,
That's
what
fine.
about in the real world?
That's
Not
fine.
Earth 1 or Earth 2,
Let
but
me reduce
our
the
own
sound.
Earth.
I'm afraid it might be a bit
Prime.
too.
The Earth of you, me, and Clark Kent. A total.
Sorry, let me reduce the sound because I wasn't sure if the audio here, doesn't cover too much my voice here, Background, Kal-El, Clark Kent, he's 19 years old. Bullshit. AKA Superman Prime, the Time Trapper, a comic book fanboy, signature catchphrase, it's prime time.
Normal boy from New England who just happened to
Excuse me?
share a name with that comic book character.
Mere coincidence. That is, until the day
Yeah.
Clark took a leap of faith
Or
and
maybe
believed
not.
he could fly.
And he did! Surprise, surprise, Clark was actually from the planet Krypton, which apparently exists in our universe now? Anyway, the real Superman, the one from all those comics he loved, showed up just in time to give him the skinny on being Superboy. Wait, he could have chosen me! I believe I can fly!
Bugsy, don't jump off the... Ah. Clark had all your classic Kryptonian powers. Flight, heat vision, microscopic and telescopic sight, Arctic breath. It was the dream that every little boy had finally come true.
Ow. Just in time for his universe, our universe, to be annihilated literally 1 month later in DC Comics Armageddon, the Crisis on Infinite Earths. Whiz, we're canonically dead since 1986, apparently.
With everyone
God,
he
I
knew and
wish.
loved gone, Clark took shelter in
I
a
mean, have you
pocket
seen
dimension with
2026?
other cosmic refugees. Now an anachronism in
Have you
DC's
seen this
new
fucking
rebooted
year?
post-crisis
Well,
continuity.
the year before
Clark was
that,
forced
like,
to watch
come on.
as the comics landscape changed before his eyes. As
Yeah.
stories became darker and
The
morally
Bronze Age,
complex.
baby.
As heroes failed to be the paragons of good he saw them as in his childhood.
As someone else got to be Superboy.
Some people can't stand change, can't stand to see a world that doesn't look the way it did when they were a child. The day needed to be saved
Or,
by
you know,
Superboy,
sometimes it's one
the
more day.
real Superboy, Superboy Prime.
So he did what any Superboy would do. Punch really hard. He punched his way out of the dimension so
Let's
hard,
go.
the shockwaves rippled through the universe and retconned DC Comics. Superboy was back, and he was gonna fix comic books forever. Hell yeah!
No matter how many fake heroes got in his way.
Oh shit! Super Chud Prime isn't just your ordinary Kryptonian. Oh no, he's pre-crisis.
As in, from before the Crisis on Infinite Earths, a time when comics were a bit more comical.
When Superman could sneeze solar systems apart or tow a galaxy of
Or,
planets
like,
behind him
shoot
like it was
mini
nothing.
versions of
Or clash
himself.
with another Kryptonian
That was a weird
hard,
moment.
They generated enough power to
I need to
restore an infinite number of timelines.
Get ready to hear that
I need
word
to find-
a
I need
lot.
to find
My
that panel.
favorite is the time Superman flew so fast he broke the light barrier, the time barrier, and even the bonds of infinity. I wonder if these writers ever imagined this bullshit would feed nerd arguments for the next half century. Not that I'm complaining. That's how I get paid.
And that's how I
will
get
know
attention.
He is a self-described power scaler's dream.
Huh. You think he's heard about us?
We can only hope not.
Oh, I
As a
absolutely
Kryptonian
have.
with an ultra-dense molecular structure, he should also share
I
many
love
of the
the
same
editing of
resistances,
this.
like being transmuted to stone, having his atomic
Let me see. Resistances. You know what? That's fun. That's actually good. Resistance is molecular manipulation, soul manipulation, existence erasure. So let me see. I'm gonna write this down real quick. Soul, existence. I don't see a mind manipulation in there. Molecular manipulation. Would that count as like matter manipulation? Or like as precise as it, at least. Temporal anomaly. Redcon punches time travel. So they both have time travel and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna count it. Kryptonian biology. Heat vision, eidetic memory. That would be helpful if Sentry managed to rewire managed to make him forget to make if Sentry managed to make Superboy forget about him, even forget he even exists. Superboy Prime being a comic book fan, he's seen pictures of the Sentry, so he wouldn't know what's up. He would still know what's up, even if he doesn't necessarily know of Sentry and the Void, because he's a comic book fan and he knows about this Marvel. He knows about this Marvel because one more day they should be married.
Bond's weakened or getting his energy drained. Kryptonians like Superman can withstand more esoteric attacks too. They can actively resist mental attacks by outthinking them, and their souls can resist being destroyed.
That could also be outthinking. That sounds important. So sorry, I should be taking those notes after I've seen both run down in one. Superboy Prime also has the Silver Age Kryptonian ability to vibrate his molecules to travel to other universes or higher dimensions.
Resist mental attacks by outthinking them, and their souls can resist being destroyed.
All thanks to Earth's good old yellow sun fueling his cells. And unlike that post-crisis super fraud who gets weaker without sunlight, Prime's got it covered.
With a suit of armor made from the corpse of the Anti-Monitor, which constantly feeds him solar energy, literally wearing the pelt of the monster who destroyed his universe, just to be better and stronger than Superman.
Because that's what he thinks he is. Superman with better feats and scaling. Superman, but real.
Superman, if he was a fucking idiot. Okay, sure, he has the same hyper-efficient brain that all Kryptonians have, but when it came to being a superhero, he was a violent, immature moron.
Exactly what you'd expect from a kid who never grew up and never learned to hold back. Instead of saving Earth's heroes, he started massacring them. And let's be real, there's a part of him that knows that editorial will just bring them all back eventually.
He's battled the Doom Patrol, Justice Society, Teen Titans, and 3 Flashes at once. He effortlessly murdered an alternate universe Justice League and even killed his rival, Connor Kent, the new Superboy. Even as other Kryptonians grew in power to become comparable to their pre-crisis iterations, Prime still held an advantage because he never held back.
Like the time he tore apart the Monarch's armor, accidentally unleashing the Big Bang in his face, destroying the universe, and he was fine.
Or the time a Guardian of the Universe blew himself up in an attempt to stop Prime, blasting him into the multiverse atom by atom, and that only made Prime stronger.
Or the time he fought a
atom destruction. Atom destruction. Sorry. That sounds very important. That sounds extremely important.
Potential future version of himself.
Only made Prime stronger.
Or the time he fought a potential future version of himself who became a god of time. And instead of teaming up, Prime stupidly attacked him and accidentally retconned themselves both out of existence.
Which sent him home. Back to his original universe, our universe. Except now everyone he knew, his parents, his girlfriend Lori, had been reading his comics. They knew what he had become, and they were terrified.
Once again, forced to watch as his heroes progressed without him, he pored over comic after comic, learning everything about DC.
And a little bit of Marvel.
Only to discover his worst possible nightmare.
Not only would he never get to be Superman, he wasn't even a super villain that people liked. Turns out, power levels aren't everything.
So, naturally, he flew to DC headquarters and attacked the people writing his own comic.
Like some infinitely recursive meta hell.
Prime had become a whiny, petulant, reactionary fanboy.
Oh,
Wiz, you think
God.
he's the guy posting on our Reddit?
And at the
Wait, let me read this. Let me read this.
Fanboy.
Let me read this. Death Metal hates Kyle Rayner. They're so biased against DC Comics. At the same time, I just know they hate Dragon Ball. I can't prove it. I can prove it.
You think he's the guy posting on our Reddit?
And at the peak of his violent temper tantrum, he murdered the Golden Age Superman, the original Superman. Action Comics #1, the first superhero.
Instead of restoring DC's glorious past, Prime beat it to death. He needed to change.
And that opportunity came when this alternate universe Jokerized Batman Who Laughs threatened to destroy all of reality.
Prime was drafted to help save the day, and it turned out he was the only Superboy who could.
Remember that time Prime punched reality so hard he retconned DC Comics? Turns out it was no...
Previously
that time
previously seen 4 minutes and 40 seconds ago.
Punched reality so hard he retconned DC Comics? Turns out that was no coincidence. Due to his repeated excursions across the multiverse, Prime became a space-time anomaly, and he slowly learned how to manipulate reality itself with his fists.
I guess you could call it his retcon punch!
At first, its effects were random, like bringing Jason Todd back to life or restoring Beast Boy's memories, but he started to use it to rewrite continuity to fix the evil universes of the Batman Who Laughs.
Giving them and all the characters inside of them happy endings. In a weird way, that's what Superman has always done, right? Punch the bad guy so hard he saves the day.
Prime
Hell
can punch
yeah.
hard enough to enter the time stream, seemingly exit the comic medium entirely, and even defeat the nigh omnipotent Darkest Knight.
Who was powerful enough to beat Perpetua, the goddess who created all of DC Comics, the whole shebang. And Prime hit the Darkest Knight so hard, he erased his entire evil multiverse.
A feat that no one actually saw happen. Prime's first true act of heroism was one that he did selflessly, and it was the first step toward becoming a true hero.
The kind of hero that Superman always secretly knew he could be. A hero
Hell
who could
yeah.
someday get his own issue #1. A hero like, well, Superman.
Maybe one day Prime will truly believe in himself, just like he once believed he could fly.
Damn, that was really good. That's a I think right now, I think I prefer Superboy Prime right now, or like his analysis right now, because that was a really good conclusion. That was really good. That was a good conclusion of his character, and what he has been said for. Anyway, now it's time. Now it's time to actually take notes. So I'm gonna watch the rundown again, and I'll be back to you in like just an instant. So 3, 2, 1.
All right, the battle's about to
The
begin,
fight.
but first, Hitch calls are back. Hey,
Yeah,
I'm Ben,
they're
the
back
voice of Wiz.
again.
And I'm Chad,
And
the
they're
voice
out.
of
Alright. So I took a few notes. This seems to be going in Superboy Prime's favor a lot. One, anything that the Void can attempt, like devouring soul, controlling manipulate matter, things like that. Prime has has resisted it. Prime can resist it. Especially the memory wipe. The memory wipe could be. It could be important, but also Prime has shown, and other Kryptonians have shown, that they can resist mind manipulation by just outthinking them, which I guess would be a matter of power. And while Sentry has only been able to resist, he has only been able to survive and inflict like multiversal destruction. Prime has like he has overwhelmed and destroyed entities that could destroy all of DC Comics, and like both Marvel and DC Comics, they're more than just one multiverse. So I think Prime has a bit more going for him. He has a bit more like going for him in terms of like I don't want to say scaling, but in terms of raw power, speed is completely irrelevant. They're both incalculable, so I don't even consider it. They both are faster than time and stuff like that, faster than infinity. Well, Sentry is only said to be faster than like a guy within Planck time, so it is calculable, but like microscopically so. He can regenerate from being destroyed on an atomic level, while Prime being destroyed on an atomic level not only doesn't work, but it makes it stronger somehow. So he has resisted atomic destruction on a similar level that the Sentry has caused. So, like, I feel like Superman has the power. He's got all the resistances he would need. Sentry, okay, the win con for Sentry would be to potentially figure out Prime's armor, because like Prime has a weakness that he doesn't really. He can't really, well, he gets weaker without sunlight, right? And he's got an armor to compensate that. So the Sentry, being the genius that he is, would be able to figure out and maybe like find a way to destroy the armor. I don't really know how tough the armor itself would be because it's made of the anti-monitor, but I assume it's like Prime's own power. It's made of it's as tough as Prime is, so I don't know how he can necessarily do that. And then there's the meta shit that Prime does. Like, I haven't found anything that the Sentry had that could let him resist just being retconned. I haven't seen anything that showed that Sentry could resist being retconned, like, in some way. Maybe I wouldn't retcon. I haven't seen on Prime how his retcon could just, like, erase things from existence. But it would be potent enough to cripple the Void or cripple the Sentry in a way that could weaken Sentry, like, cripple Sentry and the Void severely. And then Prime would just have the strength to just, like, punch him on an atomic level and destroy, like, his every single atoms. I mean, come on, if he can destroy all of DC, he can destroy atoms. So, yeah, the win condition I see for Sentry is to destroy the armor, absorb solar energy from Prime, and that could work. Plus, he can even make, like, an entire reality. Like, the Void can even make an entire reality without Sun. But there's also the fact that Sentry is oftentimes, like, butting heads with the Void, but I'm sure merged state is definitely going to rectify that. But aside from that, I think Prime is a bit more straightforward. Like, he's resisted being erased from existence. He's resisted being having his mind screwed with, or if he can resist having their mind screwed with. He resisted having his atoms destroyed. He can resist multiversal destruction. He can resist, and I haven't seen any counter for Sentry for the retcon punch. So this is gonna be one hell of a war of attrition, because, like, again, technically Sentry would have better regeneration, but Prime is so tough that it kind of compensates anyway. So I'm gonna go with Superboy Prime. I really hope it's not a Raven versus Phoenix. It's not a Phoenix versus Raven situation where we made this episode just because we have a point for Sentry or something. I haven't seen anything that would prove me that this is what they're going for. So I'm gonna go for Superboy Prime. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. It's prime time, baby. Do me proud.
All right, the combatants.
Hey, Scribble Nuts!
Run the data through all
Possibilities. It's time for a death battle!
This city won't last much longer. Quit while you're behind, kid.
Already?
A superhero crossover? No way, dork. Onomatopoeia coming right.
Ooh, whiz! Ooh. Telekinesis! That's cool. That's already very cool.
You're dealing with someone who has the power
Of 1,000,000 suns!
of 1,000,000
Exploding suns!
Big mistake, dipwad. It's prime time.
It's what?
Bro! Okay, first retcon punch. Uh-oh.
Are
Ow.
you kidding me? Another Dark Superman fraud? Boring! It's cool when I do it.
Yeah, sure, whatever, Bubsy. Ooh! No, come on!
Please, stop hitting me.
Oh, yeah?
He'll kill you. I'll kill you. To death.
Ooh! Oh, Jesus Christ.
Bob. It's time to play God.
Alright, then. There's the shenanigan I want to see! Oh, it's time to play! It really is! Is that is that a live action, like, guy?
Okay, you weren't joking. Definitely a crisis level threat. Luckily, so am I.
Run all you want! If Bob couldn't escape me.
What hope do you have, boy?
Afraid of the Dark Clark? What kind of a hero are you? Remind me again, whatever happened to Lori?
Oh, don't say that.
It's over, Clark. There is no happy ending.
Oh, shit.
Not for you. Not for me. Not for anyone else. In the void.
Haven't you ever read a comic book, you big freaking nerd? There's always a happy ending.
Come on! Come on! Get fucked!
Bob? You kept talking about the Sentry. Bad dream?
No idea, Lindy. Best sleep I've had in years.
Crisis averted.
Let's go!
I don't think I've ever seen someone beaten to death so wholesomely before.
Let's break this down into 3 chapters.
Well,
Their strength,
Goku
intelligence,
vs.
and
Superman
power.
is a little bit. Sorry, but I got a problem with my headset.
Let's break this down into 3 chapters. Their strength, intelligence, and powers.
As with any flying brick fight, the first question you gotta answer is, who's stronger?
Prime and Sentry are naturally 2 of the heaviest hitters in DC and Marvel, more than capable of matching and surpassing Herald-level opponents like Superman and Thor.
Who are both strong enough to create and destroy an infinite number of timelines with their clashes. Just absolute wacky bullshit like that.
So in order to pick a winner, we have to take a close look at the strongest beings they fought. Molecule Man and the Darkest Night.
Sentry beat the crap out of Molecule Man, but remember, Eminem's power can fluctuate a lot, and when he fought Sentry, he wasn't at his full power.
Eminem powers. Sentry is stated by Tony Stark and Moonstone to be capable of replicating an event on par with the House of M. Sorry. He could replicate House of M. Okay, that's cool. However, the two were unaware of the broader scale of effects of the event, making it unclear if Sentry's full power is comparable to that level.
So we can only scale this so far.
But Prime overpowered the Darkest Night after the Mad Bat had absorbed the powers of both Perpetua and, what do you know, Dr. Manhattan, both of which alone could threaten all of DC Comics.
Prime is also more than comparable to the mainline Superman, who was able to subdue the World Forger, one of Perpetua's children, and destroy his new multiverse with one punch.
And unlike with Molecule Man, there's nothing to suggest the Darkest Night was holding back. In a straight brawl, Prime takes the edge in strength. But muscles aren't everything. Maybe Sentry could figure out a way around Prime's brawn with his intelligence.
While Prime does
definitely
possess a super advanced Kryptonian brain, he clearly does not use it to its full extent.
It's less that he's dumb and more that he's a teenager.
Yeah, he's like a D&D character who has like 19 intelligence and a wisdom of 6.
Has a
That's
habit
kind
crashing
of that's
out.
kind of how I
Sentry,
see
on
it.
the other hand, has been compared to Tony Stark and Reed Richards, some of the most intelligent people in all of Marvel Comics.
Sure, he mentally struggles with the whole Void thing, which sucks for him, but losing control to the Void only makes him more dangerous.
And as the Merge Sentry, he's operating at his peak, fully in control of his powers.
Yeah.
In a test of wits and wills, the Sentry was the more intelligent.
Absolutely.
But the main question in this matchup had to do with their batshit insane powers.
With the Sentry's ability to reshape molecular matter and warp perception of reality to such an incredible degree, his powers seem much more versatile than Prime's. Prime may be stronger, but heat vision, frost breath, and Kryptonian punches aren't going to do much in the long run against someone who can regenerate from a single atom.
But pre-crisis Kryptonians have actually resisted having their molecules torn apart before, and Prime should be no different. So it's not like Sentry was ever going to just Doc Manhattan him away.
Prime could still be worn down. Kryptonians have incredible stamina, but we know that sustained damage will eventually knock them out or kill them.
Unless Prime could find a way around Sentry's insane regeneration, he was toast.
The Sentry was able to regenerate his body after being destroyed by Morgan Le Fay. While she has claimed she can erase a person's timeline, there's no evidence to suggest that she used this technique on Sentry, and later admits doing so put her own life in danger. Okay.
Luckily for Prime, his ability to retcon away your history and mess with your whole timeline was actually something Sentry had no specific resistance to.
Not only
Yeah,
that,
that's what I
it
thought.
was something he's been affected by in the past.
Like the time the Scarlet Witch rewrote all of reality during House of M. Bob's continuity was rewritten like everyone else's.
Or the time Absorbing Man had the powers of a cosmic cube and warped Sentry's personal reality. Shit, Moonstone literally describes it as a reality punch.
Now, Sentry's psionic power could theoretically retcon himself from Prime's perception of reality.
Yeah, more or less. Sentry implanted his memories of the Silver Age into Earth 616 Paul Jenkins to write comics of his history. Sentry implanted his memories of the Silver Age into Earth 616 Paul Jenkins to write comics of his history after making the world forget his existence. This only affected people's memory of the Sentry, as both him and the Void still existed during their time forgotten. They were just dormant. You just suppress everyone's perception of them.
However, this feat required assistance from Reed Richards, and it's unlikely he could pull it off mid-fight.
Pre-crisis Kryptonians also resist a lot of mind manipulation anyway, so good luck trying.
Now, Prime hasn't always had the most perfect control over his retcon punch, so he might need more than one blow to finish the job.
But Prime was more than capable of powering through Void's scariest abilities.
Like having his soul eaten, or being cut off from sunlight. I guess that edgelord solar armor came in handy after all.
In short, Prime could resist everything Sentry could throw at him, but Sentry couldn't do the same. Prime takes the final edge in powers.
With no way to easily put him down, Prime would eventually muscle his way through and retcon the Void away for good.
Sorry, Bob, defeat was unavoidable.
The winner is Superboy Pro.
Oh no, he's aware of us.
My pizza's here.
The winner is Superboy Prime. Letter to the editors? Oh yeah, I win. That's right. You hack frauds really tried to lowball me, but I checked the clock and it's prime time, baby. Now, personally, that intelligence section was such a gimme. I don't crash out. I'm a tragic
Come
hero
on, dude.
grappling with real, intense emotion. I can be smart anytime I want.
Sure.
But anyway, don't subscribe, don't join as a member, don't watch Death Battle, read my comics. Prime out.
Peak. Absolute peak. Absolute peak Prime. You know what? I'm not even gonna argue with you because, come on, dude. God, this was such a cool fight. Let me go back to it. I need to watch this again. See, this is the kind of shit I was looking for. There's plenty of the shit I was looking for. That's great. Lots of the, even the section where it's just cape shits and just Sentry and Prime fighting, just regular superheroes. It was really cool. I'll give them that. It was really cool, but for me the highlight was really when the Void came in. I love the Void's personality in this fight. He was really toying he was really you could sense how malicious he fucking was, and how much he was enjoying like torturing people. Maybe I would have liked to see, because like they mentioned Void's ability to show his victims trauma and stuff like that. It would have been fun to see maybe Superboy like being shoved these like his evil past onto him, like just seeing, even if he resists him, even if he resists them in the end, that could have been pretty cool. The whole retconning and the Void, like their powers were really well fucking done. The sprites were really good as well. Prime breaking the fourth wall. He's only done it like twice. I don't really know about the fourth wall breaking. I don't see Prime as a fourth wall breaker. He's more like aware of the meta. He's more aware of the meta. I don't know if I would. Well, it's mostly my opinion of the guy. I don't really like when he breaks the fourth wall. I like when he's a DC fan. I like when he speaks as a DC fan instead of just being like talking to the camera like, "Hey, I do that." It's a reference, You get the reference, and like I do. I prefer when he like talks of maybe like crossover events and stuff like that, and power scaling. It's funny when he does that, but not necessarily like doing the whole like looking at the camera. It's cool when I do it, but that's my take on the character. I know comics. I know he does this in the comics as well, but oh my god. Oh my god, it's really good. It's really good. I need to. Also, Sentry's damage in this scene is also real. The sprites on his bloody face is really good as well. And this transformation is also pretty spooky. Pretty spooky transformation. And I wonder, was the Void? I really wonder if they used a live-action actor to do this, to do the Void specifically, because like when he grabs, like when his hand reaches for planets and stuff like that, and like that seems like way too like photorealistic. Like that looks like a real dude that they shoved the filter on, and it looks really good. It looks fucked up. It looks incredible. It's just I'm wondering if this is it. This is it. You see, Prime escaping reality is also really good. But I'm wondering if there's like some live action poured into this. But yeah, the bleeding infinity is freaking good. Being dragged into shadow. Those sprites look incredible. Those. Oh, sorry, I spit a little bit. The merged form is also like the merged form dialogue is also really good. You see just like return and everything. I didn't even realize he broke his armor. Goddamn, I should have been worried about that. Also, was there a frag reference in there? I wonder if this is like an invincible reference in there when he does like just the one frame like this. Well, it's 2 frame actually, but you know what I see. But maybe I'm just seeing things. And also like the ending was sweet. The ending just being like, yeah, he was retcon. He's still alive with his wife and well, does he have kids? I don't think he has kids. But having comics and stuff. Let me see that the Sentry, the final issue. Death Battle, the personal crisis written by Liam Swan. What is there? I don't see. I don't see what's written like on the side here. Maybe not. Nothing too big. I can't read what's there, but it's okay. 209 issue. God damn, how many comics can you write? Well, I guess it's. Wait, issue 209. Isn't that just like the episode? It's Death Battle episode 209. I think that's what it is. Oh my god, so many. Yeah, masterfully done. That was masterfully done. I loved I loved so much of it. I loved so much of it. The Void was the Void was really well represented. I liked what they did with the Void. I don't know how accurate it is, because like people like to call it about mischaracterizations, shit like this. The conclusion was good. Like the conclusion made sense. The little end rants about with Superboy Prime. That was like, because I've seen people wanting like, can we see the conclusion being retconned and stuff like that. I think that's a great way to implement Prime breaking the fourth wall and messing with Wiz and Boomstick. But yeah, overall, and also the rundown, the editing on Prime was also peak, because like, again, he's like just a comic book character, so seeing everything animated and seeing everything like being animated, everything moving, it felt, that was some peak editing on Prime's side. On Sentry was kind of okay. I didn't see anything that stood out for Sentry's analysis too much, but yeah, I really liked the rundown on Prime. I think it paints a pretty clear image of what he's about, and yeah, I mean, it makes him kind of cool in a weird way. But he had to be there. But anyway, now next time on Death Battle, it's episode 210. So let's see what this is. Is it gonna be one of the Kickstarter that's left? We'll see. Maybe it's gonna be something I'm not expecting. Who knows? But anyway, I'm glad I can react to it and not know what's going on this time. Anyway, 3, 2, 1.
Prime out.
Next time on Death Battle! Yep, Aang versus the Traveler! Avatar versus Genshin Impact! It's time, baby! It's time! I'm actually excited. I'm actually excited to see about to learn about Genshin Impact, because I remember discussing Genshin Impact back on like fan battlecast with like Zhao versus Illidan, and this was like a pretty fun discussion. So Genshin Impact, that's fine, and the matchup itself seems kind of cool. I'm not necessarily, wouldn't exactly like be my pick for an Aang matchup, and I mean I don't think it would be my pick at all, because like Aang, I don't really mind Aang returning or coming back, or like not coming back. I'm pretty neutral when it comes to Aang being on coming back on Death Battle, but at least hopefully Ben won't be sick this time. Excited to see about Genshin Impact. Plus, the matchup seems like there's some cool stuff you can do with their respective powers and stuff like that. If I remember correctly, Aang's control of the elements, spirit bending, and stuff like that. The Traveler's ability to like change elements into other elements or something like that. If I'm being like a bit maybe I'm misremembering things, but that's maybe something I'll learn over the next 2 weeks, or probably someone's gonna spat his entire shtick in the comments anyway. But yeah, that was a very solid fight. Again, really love this Death Battle. Let me know what you thought of this episode in the comments below. If you want to see more, if you want to see me react to Aang versus Genshin Impact, don't forget to like. If you like this reaction, don't forget to... Well, no, actually, don't forget to subscribe if you want to see Genshin Impact versus Avatar. And if you like this reaction, leave it a like, share it to your friends, your families, your foes. Maybe they might be annoyed, and you can like get back at them and because you're wasting their times on a cringe lord. But yeah, anyway, that was Taurock at your service, and I'll see you next time. Peace.